Phase 1. From Iron Man to Avengers. It all started with a genius, billionaire, in a cave. Iron Man wasn't supposed to work. Robert Downey Jr. was considered a risky casting choice. Marvel Studios was betting their entire future on a B-list hero, and the whole shared universe concept was completely unproven. But that post-credits scene with Nick Fury changed everything. You think you're the only superhero in the world? You've become part of a bigger universe. The Incredible Hulk introduced us to Bruce Banner's tortured existence. Iron Man 2 brought in Black Widow and hammered home that SHIELD wasn't just a shadowy organization, they were recruiting. Thor opened the cosmic side of Marvel, giving us gods, other realms, and most importantly, Loki. Captain America grounded us in World War II while setting up the moral compass of the entire universe. But none of it mattered if the Avengers didn't work. 6 different heroes, each with their own movie, coming together for one massive team-up? It was ambitious to the point of insanity. Yet when that rotating shot of the team assembled in New York happened, audiences lost their minds. The MCU wasn't just born, it was validated. Phase 1 accomplished something no one thought possible. It made a shared cinematic universe feel inevitable. With a combined budget of $1 billion, these 6 films grossed nearly $4 billion worldwide. More importantly, they established the MCU's secret weapon. Every ending was also a beginning. That shadowy figure in the post-credits scene of The Avengers, that was Thanos, and he would define the next 11 years of storytelling. The foundation was set. Now Marvel had to build something even bigger. Phase 2. From HYDRA's return to the quantum realm. Iron Man 3 dealt with Tony's PTSD from the Battle of New York, but the Mandarin twist divided fans down the middle. Thor. The Dark World gave us the Reality Stone, but became the MCU's forgotten middle child. These weren't bad films, but they felt safe. Until Captain America, the Winter Soldier changed everything. This wasn't just a superhero movie, it was a paranoid political thriller that revealed HYDRA had been hiding inside SHIELD all along. The very organization that built the MCU was compromised. Trust no one. Then Marvel took their biggest gamble yet. Guardians of the Galaxy featured talking trees, wisecracking raccoons, and a soundtrack of 70s hits. It should have failed spectacularly. Instead, it became a cultural phenomenon and proved the MCU brand was strong enough to launch literally anything into orbit. Avengers. Age of Ultron had the impossible task of following up the first Avengers while setting up the future. It introduced Scarlet Witch and Vision, planted seeds for Civil War, and gave us our first real look at the Infinity Stones as a connected threat. Was it as tight as the first Avengers? Number. But it did something crucial. It made the universe feel lived in and consequences feel real. Ant-Man closed out the phase by going small, both literally and figuratively. But don't sleep on Scott Lang's debut. It introduced the quantum realm. Phase 2 taught Marvel a valuable lesson. Audiences would follow them anywhere, but only if they kept taking creative risks. With over $5 billion at the worldwide box office, the MCU wasn't just a franchise anymore. It was an unstoppable cultural force preparing for its biggest test yet. Phase 3. From Civil War to Endgame. This is where everything Marvel had been building toward finally paid off. Phase 3 wasn't just about completing the Infinity Saga. It was about proving that superhero cinema could be art, culture, and entertainment all at once. Civil War shattered the Avengers from within. Cap and Tony's ideological war felt personal and real, while introducing Black Panther and Spider-Man so seamlessly that it seemed effortless. Doctor Strange opened our minds to magic and infinite dimensions. Guardians. Volume 2 deepened its characters while expanding cosmic mythology. Spider-Man. Homecoming brought us the perfect teenage Peter Parker. And then Thor. Ragnarok happened. A complete creative reinvention that turned the most serious Avenger into the funniest, all while destroying everything we thought we knew about Asgard. But 2018 was the year the MCU became a cultural phenomenon that transcended movies. Black Panther wasn't just a superhero film, it was a movement. Wakanda became a symbol, Wakanda Forever became a greeting, and suddenly the Academy was nominating a Marvel movie for Best Picture. Then, just months later, Infinity War broke every rule of blockbuster filmmaking. The heroes lost. Half the universe died. Audiences sat in stunned silence as their favorite characters turned to dust. It was gutsy, devastating, and absolutely brilliant. After that emotional gut punch, Ant-Man and the Wasp felt like a palate cleanser, but it quietly set up the solution to everything. Captain Marvel gave us, on paper, the most powerful hero in the MCU, right before we'd need her most. And then came Endgame. 3 hours of time travel, fan service, and emotional payoffs that somehow stuck the landing. Tony's sacrifice, Cap's worthiness, The portal scene, it wasn't just the end of a story, it was the end of an era. Spider-Man, Far From Home, served as the epilogue, showing us a world trying to move on from the biggest loss it had ever faced. Phase 3 did something unprecedented. 11 films, over $13 billion worldwide, and every single one felt necessary. Each film stood on its own while carefully threading into a larger mosaic. The Infinity Saga wasn't just complete, it was cinematic perfection. But with the story of Thanos closed, Marvel now faced its hardest challenge yet: starting over. Phase 4. From grief to the multiverse. Phase 4 began with WandaVision, a bold reinvention that unfolded as a sitcom, slowly revealing itself as a meditation on loss, trauma, and the dangerous power of denial. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier grappled with the burden of Steve Rogers' legacy, while Loki cracked open the multiverse and introduced us to He Who Remains, the first glimpse of the next great threat. But here's where Phase 4 broke new ground. It expanded beyond movies. Disney Plus wasn't just a streaming platform, it became Marvel's new storytelling canvas. These shows weren't side quests, they were essential chapters, delving deeper into characters than any 2-hour film could. The movies, however, were a mixed bag, and Marvel knew it. Black Widow felt like an overdue epilogue. Eternals reached for cosmic grandeur, Shang-Chi brought martial arts mastery and emotional weight to a new hero's journey. Then came the seismic shift. No Way Home united 3 generations of Spider-Man fans, bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in a multiversal event that proved this new reality had limitless potential. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness turned Wanda into a horror villain, while Thor: Love and Thunder reminded us that even gods can joke too much. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever faced the impossible task of honoring Chadwick Boseman while moving the story forward, and did so with grace and power. Phase 4 was messy, risky, and deeply personal. But more importantly, it laid the emotional foundation for everything that would come next. With over $5 billion worldwide, the multiverse was open. New heroes were rising, and Marvel was ready to begin again. Phase 5. From Kang's rise to Deadpool's return. Phase 5 opened with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, launching audiences into the quantum realm and formally introducing Kang the Conqueror as the next multiversal threat. What was meant to be the start of a grand villain saga quickly grew complicated as real-world controversies surrounding actor Jonathan Majors threw the future of the character and the entire arc into uncertainty. Still, the film marked a tonal shift toward darker, more complex storytelling. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 brought emotional closure to James Gunn's beloved trilogy, focusing on Rocket's origin and delivering one of the most heartfelt Marvel films in years. Then came The Marvels, a high-energy team-up that further explored cosmic entanglements, while subtly planting seeds for the X-Men by confirming Kamala Khan's mutant gene. Loki Season 2 delivered one of Marvel's most poetic and philosophical narratives to date, with Loki's transformation into the god of stories marking a powerful turning point in the Multiverse Saga. But it was Deadpool and Wolverine that re-energized the MCU. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman delivered chaos, nostalgia, and heart, reintegrating Fox's X-Men legacy into the MCU proper. The film proved Marvel could still surprise fans, leaning into its own history while setting up massive consequences for what's to come. On the ground level, Captain America: Brave New World passed the shield fully to Sam Wilson, who now faces a world fractured by politics, superhuman experiments, and the emergence of Harrison Ford's Red Hulk. Meanwhile, Thunderbolts assembled a team of morally gray characters like Yelena, Ghost, and US Agent, with Bucky Barnes caught in the middle. The film's post-credit scene teased a looming cosmic arrival, none other than the Fantastic Four, hinting that something far bigger is coming. Rounding things out, Ironheart explored the legacy of Tony Stark through Riri Williams, introducing fresh tech and youthful innovation into the MCU's next generation. Despite uneven critical reception across some titles, Phase 5 ended on a note of renewed interest and bold direction. Phase 6. From Fantastic Four to Secret Wars. The Multiverse Saga reaches its boiling point in Phase 6. It all begins with Fantastic Four: First Steps, released in July 2025. Not just a reboot, but a reimagining. Set in Earth 828, a retro-futuristic alternate reality, the film introduces the world to Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny, and Ben in a stylized 1960s world. But this is no origin story. They're already heroes, already fractured, and already facing the cosmic force of Galactus. But beneath the planetary threat is something even more terrifying. Franklin Richards, a child with power so immense that the multiverse itself seems to bend around him. The movie ends with a jarring mid-credits twist. Dr. Doom, not in shadow or silhouette, but fully revealed. Not just a scientist, not just a tyrant, something more dangerous. A man who understands the stakes of collapsing realities. And he's played by Robert Downey Jr. in a role that flips the legacy of the MCU on its head. From there, the cracks spread. Eyes of Wakanda, August 2025, reveals long-buried secrets of Wakanda's mystical connection to the multiverse, charting the silent battles fought by hidden warriors across centuries. Then comes Marvel Zombies in October, a gory, R-rated detour that pulls viewers into a corrupted alternate dimension where even heroes hunger. Meanwhile, Wonder Man, December 2025, drops the mask entirely, giving us Simon Williams as a reluctant actor-turned-superhuman. It's the kind of weird Marvel only attempts when it's ready to break the formula, but the ground starts to truly quake in 2026. In Spider-Man Brand New Day, Peter Parker is back, but not the same. Alone, forgotten, hunted. This time, he's not just swinging through New York, he's fighting for his soul, and he's not alone. The Hulk enters the frame. So does the Punisher. All of them drawn together by an unseen web. Avengers. Doomsday, releasing December 2026, isn't just a crossover, it's an implosion. Earth 616, Earth 828, and others collide. Heroes from fractured timelines assemble, but this is no alliance, it's chaos. The Fantastic Four confront Doom, who now wields not only power, but knowledge. He has seen the end, and he plans to write a better one. Franklin Richards is the key, and Doom wants to shape him into a god. The Avengers, scattered, unprepared, must find new purpose fast. This is the darkest war the MCU has ever told, and it's only part 1, because on December 17th, 2027, the multiverse dies. Avengers. Secret Wars closes the saga with the collapse of all reality into a single chaotic battleground. Heroes live and die, worlds merge and crumble, and somewhere in the madness, the future of the MCU will be forged. So there you have it. 6 phases, 17 years, and the most successful experiment in cinematic history. If this journey meant something to you too, drop a like, share your favorite MCU moment in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that celebrate the power of cinema. This is just the beginning.